and Comics, I'm JoJo. I hope you all are having a fantastic spooky season thus far. I want to continue with this horror kick on my channel, so we will be doing a movie review right now on a little film called When Evil Lurks. This was released last month at TIFF. It was critically acclaimed. I was stoked when I found out that the theater near me was playing it. So last week I went to go watch it. I haven't really had time to do a review up until now. I'm not even going to delay with my thoughts here. I loved this film. It is so different than anything I've seen lately when it comes to possession films. And I think any horror fan will really appreciate that this film didn't hold back. It took risks and was unapologetic in doing so. I will be getting into spoilers with this review, so if you intend to go watch the film, I'd say hit the pause button on this, go check it out, come back, give me your thoughts about it in the comments, and we'll have a full-length discussion about it. But as for now, everyone else, let's get on into this. When Evil Lurks was written and directed by Damian Rugna, who's an Argentinian filmmaker. And guys, this movie is in Spanish, so if y'all are lazy or don't like reading subtitles, suck it up, because this right here is a cinematic gem. You guys, please, please, please don't let your laziness get in the way of an amazing experience at the theater. I beg of you. I beg of you. So to give a quick synopsis, the story is about two brothers who live out in the boonies in a small little rural town. They find out that a local, he is possessed, and gross as hell, might I add. It was a little mixture of CGI, but mostly practical effects, guys, and it was amazing. It looked incredible. So these two brothers, they try to take care of the situation. Doesn't really work. They're scared that this demon is gonna jump from body to body, which it does end up doing. So they're seeing their loved ones get possessed by this evil. Little by little, it's this impending kind of doom that they're slowly succumbing to throughout the movie. And as much as they're trying to save their loved ones, there's just no stopping this thing. It's going wherever it wants, and it's possessing whoever it wants, and in doing so, killing several people. I really enjoyed the writing and the acting. I do speak Spanish, so it felt very authentic in the way that these family members were communicating to each other. The exasperation that they were delivering the lines with, their facial expressions, it just all felt so realistic. And the scene that really sticks out to me as well was the last scene when you see the older brother just break down, and you don't hear the audio of his screaming, you just hear the music in the background, but the despair in his whole body language and everything, like it was so well done. Something that I loved about this movie that I wish more horror movies would do is that once it started, that thing hit the ground running. Everyone just accepted the fact that this big body laying in front of them was possessed. There was no question, there was no second thought about it. It was just like, okay, we got to do something about this possession problem we got, you know? And that was so great. Like, zero explanation to the audience, which I also loved. This just assumed the audience was smart enough to pick up the pieces of what was happening. And I love that as a representation of Hispanic culture and how they just fully believe in the supernatural. It's not something that's so out of the ordinary. It's something that they need to squash now before it spreads. They treat it like the freaking pandemic, you know, where it's like, oh no, we need to do something about this or else we're screwed. And that's the exact opposite of what you would see in an American possession film, where they're constantly trying to figure out a logical, scientific explanation. So it was so refreshing to see this contrast. Later in the movie, our protagonist's ex-wife gets possessed and she starts eating her own son's brains, and it was so disgusting, you guys. The fact that I was gagging was such a testament to how good these effects were. It is the most grotesque, abject shit I've seen in quite a while. So as great as this movie was, I did have two little minor issues in the scene when they're going into the school and trying to take all the bodies out from under the stage. That part felt like it dragged for me. And I felt like they could have cut back to the other house where you had the grandma and one of the kids. It almost seemed like there was a deleted scene that they didn't include. And I think maybe that is why it feels a little unbalanced there. That in turn made the school scene feel a lot longer than it should have been. We should have gone back to the other house at least one more time. Also because, you know, the son ends up eating the grandma, which is also crazy. This movie is wild, you guys. We never got to actually see the grandma get eaten. The way they cut it still worked for the story and for the movie overall, but I just feel like it could have been better if we kind of saw a little more of that kill. And it didn't have to be like a ton, just maybe like even just a flash of something, you know, like something quick. But it also would have broken up the parallel scene over at the school. Even though I had those two little issues with the third act, I do think that the movie still had a solid ending. The demon won. The demon won. It was reborn and it won. And it killed all your loved ones and left you alive to suffer. You know, it's not a happy ending. And that's what I really enjoyed, because usually, you know, we get that resolution and everything is just gravy now. We vanquished the demon. We're all good. Let's go. Next sequel, when they're at their family friend's big house, the friend is telling him these things feed on fear, and technically your family is being attacked because you are so vulnerable and you are fearful of it. And she's essentially telling him to suck it up and, you know, fight, right? But as a human being, you know, it's that human folly. We are flawed. And that's something that this movie really brings to light, and that we can't get away from those flaws. Like, we're always going to be human, and to be human is to err. So in running from the demon, trying to save his family and his own life, you know, that showed fear. And that ultimately is what gave the demon more power to kill his family. So, man, this movie was deep. It went in all these different directions that I didn't expect, and I absolutely loved every minute of it, guys. I personally would give this movie an A, a solid A. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, give me a like or subscribe or both. I don't hate it. And you catch me on Instagram at Flix and Comix, and I guess I'll catch you over there later.